Good morning, Lakeland, and welcome back to Hollow Hawks. My name is Isabel.
And I'm Ethan, the one, the only, the Sunny D God, and today is Veterans Day, the 11th day on the 11th month that we set aside to honor our veterans who have sacrificed so much for us.
Today after Hollow Hawks, we will be airing our virtual Veterans Day assembly, so stick around for that.
Are you a budding photographer? Did you take an awesome shot of the game last week? Do you want to make sure your club gets more recognition in the yearbook? Well, share your photos through the yearbook class through eShare. Just go to www.hjeshare.com and enter the school code Lakeland Hawks. Fill out the form and submit it. Your photos may be used in our 2021 yearbook.
Are you wondering what is happening over the Hawkeye this week? Well, here's Diego to fill you in.
Boys basketball players tries will be Friday afternoon at 2:30 and Saturday morning at 8 a.m. at LHS. Please sign up with the sheet in the front office. Open gym will be tonight at 6:30 p.m. Any questions, see Coach Ryan in room 38.
This message is for any senior interested in or planning to attend NIC after graduation. The first of 4 NIC workshops that will be here at the high school is next Tuesday. NIC will help you through all the steps needed to complete your application, scholarships, and enrollment process at these workshops. And each workshop is different. The one next week will help you with all the first steps after applying. If you are a senior and planning to attend NIC next year, you don't want to miss this. The workshop will be from 1:35 to 2:35 right after school next Tuesday in the library computer lab. It will be on Zoom, so any senior who can't attend in person can join the workshop virtually. Crazy, right? Space is limited to the first 26 seniors who sign up, so make sure you sign up early by emailing Ms. Paquette, or there's a sign-up sheet on the wall outside the counseling office.
If you are interested in attending U of I, a virtual event called Meet the Vandals is taking place tonight from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Register online if you want to find out more about U of I. There will be a drawing for a $1,000 scholarship if you go to U of I next year too. The link to register for this virtual event is on your remind messages or Ms. Paquette's website.
Wrestling practice will begin November 16th after school in the mat room. You'll need to have all your paperwork turned in before then. Go see Mr. DeVilbus for more information.
Thank you for tuning in today. This is Isabel reminding you you matter and are irreplaceable. And I hope you know that we really do mean that. You are important, and without you, things just wouldn't be the same.
That's right, Izzy. And I'm Ethan, signing out live for Halo Hawks. And now, the Veterans Day Assembly.
Woo!
Gentlemen, our veterans represent the very best of America. They have bravely answered the call to serve in the finest military force in the world, and they've earned the dignity that comes with wearing the uniform and defending our great flag. On Veterans Day, we honor all Americans who have served in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard, both in times of war and peace. For nearly 100 years since the end of World War I, Veterans Day has given us a time to pay due respect to our veterans who have passed the torch of liberty from one generation to the next.
paying our respects means recommitting. Obligation to care for those who have protected the freedom we often take for granted. This is why providing care for our veterans is a top priority amongst our nation's administrations. Legislation has been put in place to improve the accountability at the Department of Veterans Affairs and provide additional funding for the Veterans Choice Program, which ensures veterans continue to receive care in their communities from providers they trust. We also have legislation that gives veterans GI Bill education benefits for their lifetime, and legislation to fix the VA appeals process to ensure veterans can access the resources they are and rightly due.
Additionally, this Veterans Day, more than 50 years from the beginning of the Vietnam War, we are compelled to recall and recognize the sacrifices of the more than 8 million Vietnam veterans who served here beginning with those who first arrived in the first American troop deployment in 1965 and ending with those who fought through the ceasefire of 1973. These men and women dedicated themselves during one of the most challenging periods in our history to promoting freedom across the globe. Many spent years away from their families and loved ones as they endured the burdens of battle, and some experienced profound pain and anguish as their fellow warriors, more than 50,000 of them, lost their lives. Some of these heroes have yet to return home, as 1,253 of America's sons and daughters still remain missing, along with our Vietnamese partners. However, we continue to work to account for them and to bring them home to American soil. We will not rest until that work is done.
With respect for and recognition of the contributions our service members have made to the cause of peace and freedom around the world, the Congress has provided that November 11th of each year shall be set aside as a legal public holiday to honor our nation's veterans, so that all Americans can recognize the fortitude and sacrifice of our veterans through public ceremonies and private thoughts and prayers.
In our community alone, we have hundreds of veterans and active military members. As citizens of the United States, we have all benefited from their service. Making sure to thank any veterans you cross paths with or serve to you and our nation as a whole. A number of our LHS students join the military every year. We would like to thank each of you for your service.
I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Dick Sperling. Mr. Sperling served our nation in the Vietnam War, and many of you may know him already as a volunteer baseball coach and leader of our Young Life program.
For some time now, I've been involved at Lakeland High School with a couple of different capacities. Some of you may recognize me from Young Life and handing out treats on Treat Mondays or dishing up hot chocolate on cold Wednesday mornings. Others may recognize me from helping to coach baseball in the spring. At any rate, in the last 6 years, I've discovered that Lakeland High School and you students have become special to me. That's why it was a privilege when I was asked to give a talk on Veterans and Veterans Day. Now, this talk's going to be short because I've always believed that someone should not talk longer than your butts can endure. Did you know that Veterans Day was originally called Armistice Day? Armistice Day was to celebrate the end of the Great War, which later became known as World War I. Armistice took effect on the 11th day of the 11th month at the 11th hour. So Armistice Day was set for November 11th. In 1954, President Eisenhower changed the name to Veterans Day to honor all veterans who have served this great country. What is a veteran? A veteran's any person, whether active duty, retired, reserve, or honorably discharged, who at some point in his or her life gave an oath to protect and preserve the Constitution of the United States of America. And in so doing, they basically wrote a blank check made payable to the United States for any amount up to and including their own lives. When you're in the service, you become a part of a team. You have a sense of belonging. You're always watching someone's back, and they're always watching yours, taking care of you. When you get out, all of a sudden you're on your own. It's quite a change. It's not gradual. You're now a civilian, a veteran. These veterans need to know that they're not alone. That is why it's important to recognize them and to thank them. I personally served in the Army and spent time in combat in Vietnam, a very unpopular war. I know you're probably saying that guy's not old enough to be in Vietnam. Well, I spent my 21st birthday hunkered down in a bunker with rockets flying overhead. I was a door gunner on a Chinook helicopter, CH-47. The Chinook is a big helicopter. It's a huge target. And things got a little hairy at times. In fact, on a couple occasions, I actually had to check my drawers when I got back to our home base. But when I and every other service person who came home from Vietnam got here, we did not come home to cheers and parades. We came home to jeers and having garbage thrown at us as we got off the buses. It took more than 20 years before anyone ever came up to me and said, "Thank you for serving." I can't tell you what that meant to me. It actually brought tears to my eyes. It took more than 40 years before I actually admitted that I'd gone to Vietnam. Some of these service guys and gals who have been in Afghanistan or Iraq or other places, they're going through the same thing. So it's really important that if you see someone wearing a hat that says veteran or a shirt that says veteran, go up to them and thank them. They'll appreciate it and they deserve it. And I want to thank you again for this time, but one last word. Protecting and defending the Constitution is a generational responsibility. It's up to your generation to make sure you defend it for the next generation. I think you're up to it. Thank you again. Now is the time for you to stand and clap.
Thank you, Mr. Sperling, for this time. The band will be playing an Armed Forces.
The mission of the United States Coast Guard is to safeguard our nation's maritime interests around the world. The Coast Guard is an adaptable, responsive military force of maritime professionals whose broad legal authorities, capable assets, geographic diversity provide a unique instrument of maritime safety, security, and environmental stewardship. Please stand and be recognized for your selfless service to our country.
The mission of the United States Air Force is to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace. To achieve that mission, the Air Force has a vision of global vigilance, reach, and power. That vision orbits around three core competencies: developing airmen, technology to warfighting, and integrating operations. Please stand to be recognized for your selfless service to our country.
The mission of the United States Navy is to maintain, train, and equip combat-ready naval forces capable of winning wars, deterring aggression, and maintaining freedom of the seas. Please stand and be recognized for your selfless service to our country.
The Marine Corps serves as the aggressive tip of the United States military spear, with a reputation for prowess in combat. It is a smaller, more dynamic force than any other in the American arsenal, and it is the only forward deployed force designed for expeditionary operations by air, land, or sea. Please stand and be recognized for your selfless service to our country.
The mission of the United States Army is to fight and win our nation's wars by providing prompt, sustained land dominance across the full range of military operations and spectrum of conflict. Please stand and be recognized for your selfless service to our country.